Ladies and gentlemen, it's Aaron Marshall. This is Guitar Power. Thank you for being here.
Dude, pleasure, man. That was sick, dude.
How did you choose the guitar as your instrument, and what was the very first thing that you can recall that made you want to play?
I wanted to be a drummer.
Perfect.
So I wasn't allowed to have a drum kit in the house because I don't think I'd proven my prowess as a musician. And my dad was like, we're getting you an acoustic guitar from the pawn shop. And we start there, sonny boy, kind of thing. So I actually had like very minimal interest in it. And I came home from school one day and found my dad had like a Mel Bay book open and he was playing like Greensleeves. And I was so frustrated that he had learned something before I did that I put that Takamine on and I just could barely get my arm over it. And I started playing like Ode to Joy or something out of the same book, and it's like, I'll show him kind of thing.
Do you remember the first riff that you yourself listened to and figured out on your own and you said, this is it?
Definitely Smells Like Teen Spirit.
All right.
I mean, ad nauseum, everyone knows that. Yeah, but that was the first thing where I was like, okay, it's rhythmic. It's like, I'm kind of doing the drum thing and like, power. I definitely didn't even have the octave in there. For sure, it was just like root fifth, you know?
Nice. Well,
sure.
I mean, that's kind of what the original was, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he probably didn't either, to be honest, so yeah.
So the drums, that's an interesting thing because the music that you create now is very rhythmically specific.
As a composer, I think that, especially in this realm of guitar-centric music, the music that excels or shines the most is the stuff that considers the rest of the band. And drums are, I would say, the most important thing in terms of dictating how a composition moves. And of course, like linking up a fill on the guitar with a fill on the drums and being mindful of those sort of symbiotic elements, that's like really important to me.
Well, that's cool. Now let's talk a little bit more about how do you describe the music that you play? Because there are a lot of up and coming new genres, and there's this term Djent, which is another one of those terms that people are like, what is that? And why do I hate that word so much? Or why do I love that word so much?
Yeah. Based on my lineage with intervals and what I've been doing with this music, it definitely started under the umbrella of the D word, for sure.
Yeah.
And I still definitely borrow elements from that, and that's that rhythmic drums, like a hand in a glove with the guitar type thing.
If somebody's never heard the term Djent, like give the definition for them.
It essentially refers to, it's like an onomatopoeia for the sound, very particular sound that a guitar can produce. We'll see if what I have.
Palm muted.
Yeah, I'm a little dark for that right now, actually. But it's that rhythmic thing that happens when you choke up. But genre-wise, what does it infer? You know, like what Misha's done with Periphery and what John Brown's done with Monuments and Ackle with Tesseract. Those are like the three. A band called Between the Buried and Me, who get lumped in with that sound, but they're not really, you know, that kind of thing. But that's what was sort of influencing me at the time. Protest the Hero, who are from Canada, good buddies of mine who I grew up listening to. That's more of the technical metal or progressive metal type thing. But really, at the end of the day, it's an amalgamation of these things. I like technical, riff-driven guitar music.
Yeah.
But I also grew up on pop punk and a lot of stuff that's like got a really sweet melodic top line. So my stuff was definitely more tuned down and aggressive in the early days, but it's migrated to a place where I wanted to challenge myself with the instrument tuned in standard. I also wanted to get away from that relationship of the, you know, just having a power chord that you can carry with one finger.
Yeah.
But also what's really important for me is creating a background for a
melody.
song. Yes, a melody, but that gives way to the song.
And that goes back to more what you were saying also with allowing the drums to create a groove that you can feel and connect to. So it's not just like, hey, I wrote a song. It's like 17 disconnected body parts, and then let's do it again.
And there's some flashy moments. I like to use some techniques and do a few things, but to me, it's about serving the song, and what's the feeling I get from it, and you know, what's the feeling that I can potentially give the listener. I like that this type of music is interpretive in that capacity, and for me, it's just about making cool songs and cool music.
Tell me a little bit about this guitar. Maybe you could do a rundown of all of the features.
Sure. This is a Sir Modern Custom made by John Sir. Everything to do with this instrument is basically what aligns with my preference and the ability for me to get a lot of sounds with one instrument. Basswood body, maple top, roasted maple neck, which is a must these days. And this one has a Pau Ferro fingerboard. Volume tone in a 5-way, 2 humbuckers. So the way it works is in position 2, you get these split coil sounds, which basically negate a row or a coil from each pickup, and it gives you that. So you can go from like a mid-driven kind of humbucker sound to a a little bit more of a like a half clean, kind of quacky, almost pseudo strat kind of thing, which is great, and I need that a lot. And then this is, to my knowledge, it's both pickups in parallel. Fourth position is just the neck tapped into a single coil, which is good. A little noisy, but it's got that nice fluty kind of.
Let's hear it.
So you get. Right, and then you just have your neck pickup, of course.
Now, one thing is you're using that vibrato bar a lot, and there's no locking nut. So how is it staying in tune as well as?
For sure. It's all about how the instrument's calibrated.
Yeah.
I've only got 2 springs in the guitar as well, which is, you know, this thing is really sensitive, and I like that because there's a lot you can do. You can flutter, which you can't do if you have a tight trem. But if I want to get a little more in your face, a little more honk in it, and then of course, for more of a vocal approach, I'll do neck pickup. Yeah.
So there's a lot of colors
sure.
just right there from the guitar, which is good.
There's something that I really like about the split sounds in terms of that almost like, I've been trying to find an adjective lately to describe it. It's almost like there's like an ASMR quality to the way the pick just drags on the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really sensitive. And fingers as well. Love that. It's like crystals.
Yeah. Picking wise, you use hybrid picking sometimes.
Yep.
So maybe you could give people a little bit of an example.
Hybrid picking, so for people who don't know, it's a combination of using the pick and your fingers. So it's kind of like a classical approach, except there's no thumb, so we do away with the first finger, and then you can use your ring finger and your middle finger. Kill my delay. It's something like this, just a little etude where I'm using the D string and the B string. And what I'm doing is I'm replacing an upstroke. You would have down, up, and I'm replacing that with the pluck on the finger. You can also this kind of thing and play around with the math, of course, but my hand doesn't have to move at all. I'm barely working, and the left hand can change the tonality. The right hand has no idea. It's the same device, but I'm just, you know, the left hand is kind of steering, and the right hand is kind of the gas. Yeah.
And so then what you end up figuring out is how you want to sequence the notes, but you have a sort of automated, your right hand can just be on autopilot.
For sure. So that's where it starts, and that's a really good place to kind of get your head around just sequencing in groups of, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So it's a group of 6. But when it starts to become more about a riff or a sequence, that's a little more calculated. So. This kind of thing where it's obviously a little more calculated.
You have a little bit of a change in the dynamics from the pick to the fingers. So everything doesn't have to be hard and even all the time.
You know, you never operate at 11, although as guitar players we want to. There's a riff from a song called I'm Awake. It's the first song on my album, The Shape of Color, where this kind of thing where I'm definitely laying back on the faster mutes, and then I really give it gas on the hammered notes for that intensity. And if I'm playing any lead stuff, or if I'm playing anything that's a little bit more, you can pull certain notes and you can just take your time on other ones.
It's always in control, whereas some things that people are playing, it's like, you know, there's so much energy that it's like...
You run out of gas and then there's no musical
there's nowhere
range.
else to go.
There is nowhere else to go.
Are there any guitar players out there that that you're listening to now that you are inspired by, or what do you think the future of guitar is going to be?
I think the ones pushing things are, there's this guy from Poland named Jakub Zetecki, I think is how you say his last name. He's incredible. There's a guitar player from Australia named Steven Taranto, who's very underrated, but he's probably the deadliest guitar player right now. A good buddy of mine from Norway who worked on my record, who did some sound design and keyboards actually, is a phenomenal guitar player. His name's Owain. He goes by Owain. There's a kid from Atlanta named Sims Cashian. He's a young, like, metal shredder kid who's amazing, who everyone will know about soon. I want to give a leg up to the underdogs, you know? Like, those are the guys I think that you're going to see in the next couple of years who
And those are guys that you hear about how?
peers, really, at the end of the day. Sims has been coming to interval shows in Atlanta for however long, and Jakob's been doing his thing on the internet, and Owain's been making some waves, but more people deserve to know about him as well. So.
And are you using Instagram as your main thing of getting fans to connect?
I think it's gone there. Yeah, I believe it to be the superior platform for engagement.
It's like the only place for guitar-centric radio. Like, short little snippets.
Guitar on demand, really.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
There's people
For
that
sure.
you see and you think, there's no way that's humanly possible. Like a guy like Rick Graham.
Oh man, Rick, dude, absolutely. Who's a good buddy, and
Yeah.
Rick's amazing. But there's a slew of other guys. Once you open the door on the Instagram thing,
Yeah.
now I'm thinking there's this guy Todd Pritchard, who's unbelievable neo soul and R&B guy. Everyone needs to check out Todd. There's this kid from the UK named Bo. I don't know. I can't do his last name. Diakowitz or something like that.
Bodiakowicz
Oh,
or
you know.
something. Like, I know who he is. Yeah.
Unbelievable type stuff. I found him on Instagram. And then, of course, guys like Mateus Asato and, you know, guys who've been really doing the Instagram thing with a lot of, intent. So
Well, that's all good stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe we should play a little bit more.
pick a key and we go.
Aaron Marshall, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Dude,
It's been a pleasure.
man.
Thank
So
you.
sick. Thank you, man.
Check out Intervals. This has been Guitar Power.